Today is Wednesday, March 10th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. So today is going to have a little bit of a different tone than what I normally have, and it's more than the colored babies. I'm just going to say that. Today is talking about saying the quiet part out loud. The Oklahoma Republican Party has been going through sort of like a rebranding phase where they're trying to appeal to a different demographic and trying to not appear as the party of racism and hate. And I got to tell you, I believe in a two-party system, and I don't want the other party to be the party of racism and hate. However, our Oklahoma Republican Party is having some difficulty. So the Republicans have labeled themselves as small government, patriotic. I don't even know what they stand for, because all I can think is negative things, and I don't want to only talk about negative things, but they're the small government party. They're the patriotic party. They're, or so they say. So one of this picture was posted today. This picture was taken today of the Oklahoma State Republican Party's headquarters. That, you can't tell, but that's the American flag in front of their headquarters, or what's left of an American flag. It is in tatters. Excuse me. It is in tatters, and it is flying today in that state. That is disrespectful to our flag. And it just kind of sums up how they've been behaving as of late. So, yesterday was, in addition to one legislator inviting another one to go outside and settle it like adults, we had one legislator who, I'm going to say, issued an apology, but who referenced colored babies. This isn't about the colored babies. This is about, saying the quiet part out loud. Our current governor, from the moment he became governor, he started fighting with our tribal nations with regards to gaming. He wanted to shut down their gaming. He felt he wanted to disregard a treaty, which is, just so disrespectful and so horrible of the history of America and Oklahoma that we need to cut it out. So we're fighting with the tribes, right? And he didn't do it subtly, right? He came out and picked a fight. He came out with his dukes up and picked a fight with the tribes. Okay, so that's strike one. Since January of 2019, Oklahoma has kicked over 60,000 Native Americans off of the voting rolls. 60,000 Native American voices have been silenced. Some of them may have moved. Some of them may have been incarcerated. Not 60,000. You won't convince me that that's what's happened. So we're silencing the voice of Native Americans. Then Senator Langford, in his non-apology apology that he issued to his friends in North Tulsa, not to the rest of the state, not to the rest of the people who voted for him, which I was not one of them, and I'm not one of his friends from North Tulsa, but he issued a non-apology apology, and his response, his non-apology apology, he said basically, I didn't realize I was erasing the votes of Black people. I had a blind spot. Was your blind spot that you just didn't see Black people? Was your blind spot that you thought we wouldn't see what you were doing? And then after the non-apology apology, he still went ahead and voted to erase the voices of African Americans all over this country. Blind spot. Now, the Oklahoma Republican Party is in reorganization phase, just like we are, right? Every 2 years, we elect a new chair, from the precincts all the way up to the state level. And they're the leading contender to be the state chair of the Oklahoma Republican Party is John Bennett. John Bennett is famous, or should I say infamous, for saying that Muslims are a cancer that must be cut from American society. Not dangerous Muslims, not Muslims who have been convicted of a crime, just Muslims. So what I will say is, well, no, I'm not finished. One more thing. There are at least 13 current bills on the Oklahoma State legislative floor that have the word abortion in them. 13. Now, there are other bills that talk about, taking away a woman's autonomy of her body, but there are 13 bills that have the word abortion in them. There aren't that many bills that talk about our climate. There aren't that many bills that actually help out Oklahomans. 13 bills that talk about abortion. And so they're trying to take away the votes of Native Americans, trying to take away the votes of African Americans. They believe that Muslims are a cancer. We're picking fights with our tribal nations. And we're also saying to women, you don't get to decide what happens to your body. It feels like a trend. It feels like a theme. And all of that feels Big Brother-y to me. It feels very Lord of the Manor, very overseer. Doesn't sound like small government. It doesn't sound like they're of the people or for the people. And I try really hard to just focus on Democrats, just focus on the things that we are doing. But I can't not hear, not see the quiet part that they're saying out loud. Representative Bowles said the words colored babies on the floor. And he was super apologetic, so I'm told. And he didn't mean that, and we should know his heart. Here's what I say about knowing his heart. He knew the term colored at his age in this day and time. It was a slip of the tongue, which means that it was there to be said. I want to believe, I want to hope that yesterday was the last time he uttered those words. I want to believe and I want to hope that other Oklahomans of good conscience have written to him to share with him how disgusting that was and how that can't be tolerated. But there are too many. They're not even microaggressions anymore. They're flat out overt transgressions where they're just saying, you don't count. We are in the majority here. Our word is the only word that counts. You want to protest? Well, we're going to make sure that you're a felon. And while we're at it, we're going to make it okay for people to run you over. You want to vote by absentee? We're going to add a couple of more hoops. You want to do direct democracy by filling out a petition initiative and getting fellow Oklahomans to sign it? We're going to add a couple of extra steps to that process and charge you a fee. Just do what we tell you to do. And by the way, those privileges of doing what we tell you to do are only reserved for a special few. I'm not going to say it, but you all know what I'm saying. It's reserved for a special few. Not for Native Americans, not for African Americans, not for Muslim Americans, not for women. Ooh, who's left? So what I want to say is be careful who you vote for. I've been coming on every day talking about advocacy and how advocacy is important. Democrats are hugely, gravely outnumbered in our state legislature. The only way that they get any help, that they get any cover, that they're able now, and they're able-bodied and they will argue for what is right. I do not want to diminish what they do. but they need our help. They need us to call our legislators, whether they're Democrat or Republican. They need us to make those phone calls so they know what we want, what the people who they're supposed to represent want. Advocacy works, and you're gonna hear me say all the time, this bill is coming up. You need to, and don't just call the Democrats. Chances are the Democrats already know what we think. Chances are the Democrats are already on our side. Call them, but don't just call them. Please, please, please call your Republican legislators. I am represented, but well, my district is supposedly represented by a Republican senator, state senator. And I reach out to him every chance I get. I've yet to get a response, but I do reach out to him at the same time that I'm reaching out to my Democratic representative. We have to reach out and we have to say what is going on. And today is the 10th. March 12th is the last day to get registered to be able to participate in the election that's being held on April 6th. In that, there are municipal races and school board races, but we also have a special election in State Senate District 22. Our candidate in that race is Molly Uten. This is our opportunity to add one more Democratic voice to our state legislature, and we need it. We desperately need it. So if you live in the Edmond area and the Yukon area, please do whatever you can to help Molly Uten. If you don't, there are still volunteer opportunities and ways for you to donate funds as well. We've got to add another Democratic voice to the craziness that's happening over there so that maybe we could get some semblance of representation for everyone. I'm sorry for the downer tone, guys. I did not sleep very well last night just thinking about it's not just the colored babies that has me upset. It's the blind spot. It's the fighting with the tribes. It's erasing tribes off of the voters' rolls. It's Muslims are a cancer. And it's the fact that these people are elected. We have got to work our tails off to register more voters. We have got to work our tails off to make sure that they understand that Democrats care for everyone. The Democrats want everyone to be able to recognize and appreciate and have the benefit of economic growth, no matter their zip code. The Democrats want children to have access to quality education, and everybody should be able to afford to go to the doctor. You should be more concerned with what's wrong with you than what's in your wallet. That's what Democrats stand for. We are not trying to take away your rights one by one. And that's what we're up against. So we have a year to really get out there and register folks so we have a better chance of getting more Democratic representation in our state. A year. We have work to do, folks. And so as we're calling you, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is precinct elections all over the state. Get involved. Sign up and be a precinct officer so you can be getting the messages on a regular basis of what we're doing next. So reach out to your county party. Find out how you can participate in precinct elections, how you can become a precinct officer, how you can be instrumental in electing your county chair. It is just so important that we get involved now. We have work to do. I'm not going to bore you guys with the dates. I'll be back tomorrow and I'll give you all the dates. But if you know somebody in Senate District 22 who's not registered to vote, help them get registered to vote. They have 48 hours. We need to make that happen. And if there's a bill that you've been meaning to call on, do that now. Our legislators work hard. They were there up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Help them out. All right, guys, I'll be back tomorrow at 4:15, and hopefully I'll be in a better mood. Have a good one.